Policing union is warning new Minister of Police Senzo Mchunu not to interfere with the operational matters of the police. SAPU says the operational responsibilities lies with the National Commissioner. For more on this conversation, I'm joined by the union's acting spokesperson, Jabu Mabena. Jabu, appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to us. Why does SAPU emphasize the importance of the police minister not interfering with operational matters?
Good afternoon to you and the newsroom viewers at home, and thanks for having us. In essence, our position is very clear, SAPU, Mr. Hugo, to say we welcome the appointment of the new minister, that is Mr. Mchunu, to be at the helm of the police department. That's where we first start, and also saying that we welcome the issue of the president to retain Mr. Matale as the deputy minister, just to make sure that there is still the unfinished business that can be also shared amongst the new minister and the previous deputy minister as we go forward.
Would you care to elaborate on the constitutional basis of your position?
In essence, we are given a clear mandate by the Constitution as the police, whereby it's Section 2053 of the Constitution of South Africa. It gives the mandate to the person that will be called a national commissioner to really operate and run the issues that speaks to day-to-day police work, that speaks about serving the communities in preventing crime, protecting even their properties. So in essence, we are saying that that's just that is given to the police commissioner vis-a-vis the duties of the national minister of police, to say he's a political head, need to support the police, not necessarily really to get into the work of day to day. Because if one can give an example, if it happens that the minister of police go and attend a scene with the national police commissioner, if then the community is not happy about the police commissioner, who then are they going to report to? Because if the minister is there, he will also be conflicted to show that he's also partaking in operational duties, as is not expected as per the mandate of the Constitution.
Now, Jabu, you've just given us an example, which is hypothetical, but let's go back to the last police minister and explain to us how much of your position is drawn from SAPU's and SAP's experience with the last police minister.
I think we've made a statement when the previous minister was leaving the department to say we have expressed our gratitude in working with Mr. Kele, and we also vouch to an extent that we extend our call to the new minister to say we need a support that was displayed by Mr. Kele during his tenure, whereby when there was a police killed, either on or off duty, he was showing that support throughout as the head or as the minister, as a political head, whereby he was coming to support us as SAPs and also support the families of those that have perished during his tenure.
So let's talk of your expectations on the appointment of Senzo Mchunu as the new police minister. One of the things that you indicated in the retention of Castle Matale was that there's work that needs to be carried on. Just how much of this mandate from the previous regime, if you will, needs to be carried on? What were the shortcomings? What is the work at hand for the new minister?
Not really interfering too much on the work of the police, but there's something that we believe that Minister Kele didn't really take it forward, whereby we're coming out throughout the years, even going to portfolio committees of the police, where we said a loud cry to say, let there be something that is done in changing of laws, because ministers are there to really convince the parliament to change the legislations when it comes to police killings. We still have that call that it should be heeded to say, of us to be killed on a daily basis does not really bring stability in the country when it comes to safety and security, whereby we're saying the new minister in his priority list must also get this thing of really amending the laws, of saying that first you protect, that they protect us, to say whoever that is expected to be the one who's protecting the communities should be protected first, because if police perish, then it simply means that the communities are left without no one. And we further have commended to say the appointment of the minister, this minister, we have engaged with him while he was still the minister in the Department of Public Service and administration, whereby we believe in his approach of doing things. It will definitely assist us because he's a person that shows a lot of integrity in approaching the matters, and where he also acknowledge and believe in working with the labor organization like SAPU.
Now, can you explain the proposed legislative changes, Jabu, such as classifying police killings as treason?
Definitely, that's our call. High treason definitely is going to be treated somehow, because at the end of the day, as police, we cannot all forever be complaining about us being killed. Somebody have to be knowing, if I kill a police, this is what's going to be there for me. Non-starter that we cannot talk about a police killer still going to have a bail. But if one is charged with treason, that shows, a high treason shows to be a very, 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 in strongest term to say we're trying to deter whoever that thinks of killing the police, because a person that kills the police attacks directly to the state, because the human beings or the citizens of the country are running to the state for protection. But if you kill the very same state not to protect, then you should be really being faced with a very harsh sentences, if that one can be saying.
Now, I want to touch on how critical it is for the police to population ratio issue and for that to be sorted out, and what steps you think should be taken to address it. One of my colleagues, Sipa Kema in Nelson Mandela Bay yesterday, talked about how she drove in a particular community for many, many minutes. And in that time, there was absolutely no police presence. And I suppose it speaks to these issues around the police to population ratio.
In fact, you are so right, Mr. Hugo. We are forever raising the issue of saying that the UN standards, we as South Africa, we're really not close to can meet such a, statistics of saying that the ratio, say, one police officer is to 400, trying to bring, for the past 3 years, they are bringing 10,000 of the new recruits into the system. But at the end of the day, that's more of an ocean, a drop in an ocean, whereby we say we must recruit more police officers vis-a-vis the issue of resources, to say the minister also have to speak to the issue that SAP shouldn't be getting, this finance cut, whereby we still need more of the resources. Like, for an example, you can find in a police station that there's more police, but the resources are less. Hence, one will find that there are no patrol vehicles in the road because of these budget cuts that they are allowed in other departments. Insofar as that we are saying the minister must go as far as that to speak to the treasury to say and show how big responsibility we are faced with as we go forward.
Now, there have also been some conversations around your proposals for the SAP salary structure to be amended. What sort of changes do you think would benefit the police force?
In fact, Mr. Hugo, whilst we're still there, we have to also highlight to the communities out there to say, as a policing union, we are not only engaged or collaborating only with the Minister of Police, but we also should be speaking about the appointment of Dr. Peter Groenewald on the Ministry of Correctional Services, Ms. Barbara Creasy as a Minister of Transport, and also on the Public Service Administration, Minister Nkosi Babu Umzamo Buthelezi. Now, in coming to answer your question about, is that the responsibility of Nkosi Buthelezi to really make sure we are saying as employers, or as employees to employer, that we have developed this unprecedented relationship based on the issue that the previous administration didn't own an agreement that we have that was going for 3 years. The last one that was supposed to be implemented, it was never implemented. So we are just saying the issue of making sure that we also seem to be respected as the employer, as employer should be respecting the workers. We want to really say that we just need a recognition and also be respected, as that we conclude agreements that speaks about the well-being of the employees, to make sure that the departments make sure that the police are paid according to what they deserve to be paid. Like, if you give an example to say, if there's an agreement that was already 3 years past being completed, and with that agreement of saying that there will be 3-phase increase that's going to happen, and the last lap then is not happening, such brings negativity and becomes the issue that affect service delivery, in a sense that you're really not having happy workers. But it says if you make a worker happy, then the communities are going to be happy, Mr.
Final question for you, Jabu, and the conversation's been had many times around how individuals or criminals are given bail or released from prison, and soon after given bail, they continue to commit crimes. And some of these individuals are the very individuals that are killing police in cold blood. What are your sentiments on this entire process in the judicial system around the certain criminals being released on bail?
In essence, we should also be saying this. We respect as the framework as we speak of justice to say whatever that is done according to the issues of bail, it's something that is a right of that suspect during that time or of that accused. But we are calling for the change of legislation that has to speak about those issues around the bails that children be given bail. Like if I can give a very clear example whereby we talk about the issue that speaks on the issue of domestic violence. It's very clear to say if a suspect is arrested, the suspect is not going to appear tomorrow for a bail application, but you have to also do a formal bail application that you will be remain in custody for the next 7 days. So in essence, we're saying that's possible that we can change the laws. Then that time we can really be saying that it's obvious to say a person whom attacked or killed the state cannot really be granted bail.
Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us on that issue. Jabu Mabena, SAPU acting spokesperson, and challenging the new police minister to stay in his lane.